So what seems to be behind this big shift in sentiment here?
Yeah, it's pretty funny. You know, the end of last year, everyone was piling on the shorts of gold. But I think what people missed was the reason why people were so bearish on gold was that they were thinking about the taper. The problem was the taper was announced almost a year ago when Ben Bernanke said he was thinking about it. That's when gold peaked. By the end of last year, everybody knew taper was going to happen, so there's no surprise. So now we have to think, okay, what's going to happen next in the market that's going to move gold forward?
But were you surprised that gold rallied yesterday, even as Yellen signaled her clear intentions to get back to more normal monetary policy? Many would have thought gold would have sold off.
No, because I think, you know, right now she said the same thing Bernanke was saying, so it's the same thing. So that's taken out of the equation. Everybody knows taper is going to happen. Everyone pretty much thinks it's going to be 10 billion every meeting. Now they're looking at what's next, and what's next is, number one, look at the U.S. money supply. It, which grew very little last year, has almost doubled in pace so far this year. They're also looking at China. How much is China importing? China is going to be, or was, the largest importer of gold last year. So there's a lot of positive impacts, and now all of a sudden the street's getting all bullish on gold.
Yeah, let's actually talk about China. I wanted to get to emerging markets, but just on China, according to the China Gold Association, Chinese consumption of gold jumped 41% last year to a record. So I guess Chinese buyers taking advantage of relatively lower prices. How long can that last, and how big of a catalyst is now Chinese retail demand in the overall market for gold?
It could be a really big number, and that's what a lot of people are really wondering about, is what is that number? We know the import number into China is 1,000 metric tons of gold, a huge amount. Where is that gold going is the big question. We can see a lot of lines of customers buying gold. They weren't allowed to buy gold for 30 years until now, so they're buying an awful lot of gold. But how much of that gold is going to the Chinese government, and how much gold is going to traders who are putting on sort of a swap trade to take advantage of interest rate differentials inside of China and outside of China? In April, we should get a big number. A lot of people expect in April for the Chinese government to put out how much gold's officially in their vaults. A lot of people are keying on that number to see, is it the Chinese government behind all this buying?
All right, so we'll keep an eye out for that in April. How about all this other turmoil we've been seeing playing out in the emerging markets, in Argentina, in Turkey, in Ukraine, in Thailand? What impact is that having on gold?
Look, if I'm in those countries, if I have a currency that's falling apart, I want to hold gold. And so currency crisis is the reason why you buy gold in the first place. Every time there's a crisis, people always will run towards gold.